for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. With 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games community combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation Conversation.
This aforementioned PlayStation Podcast happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in us, don't take part in us. Take part with us in future conversations.
You are welcome to go into Max.
You can. Check out our not Facebook account because that's still broken, I think. Check out our Discord, our Twitters, our Instagrams. I don't know. Our TikTok, maybe, soon.
All those links.
Anyway, check all of those out. And if the links aren't in the description below, it's because they don't exist yet.
Just hold out hope that TikTok is coming. But if you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists, where you can watch us support the show live. You can jump in the chat.
How much am I throwing you off?
Support of the show. What, pardon?
How much am I throwing you off now?
Not at all. If you want to join that... Wait, I did that part already. Wait, hang on. Fuck! Twitch.tv/popculturists. Twitch.tv/popculturists. If you want to support if you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation podcast. If you are listening to the podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com. /the PopCulturists or our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, other assorted shit with our logos on it. And don't forget the upcoming OnlyFans brought to you by Max, where you can in fact get in Max for just a small monthly fee. It is worth every dollar you do. Thank you so much, Rated Type R, there for the resubscribe with their Prime for the 17th month. Big thumbs up for that. Type R, you get to get in Max. That's how this works, right? It's prime shit. It's prime anus. How are you, Max?
Yeah, not too bad.
Are you mad that I referenced you? I just considered you to have prime anus.
Oh no, that's fine.
Yeah, like it's not an inaccurate description.
Not at all.
So what's news?
Not much. Not much.
Good start to the show. Good start. High energy. Lots of, like, how's things?
So the back end of my work week was kind of because my co-worker got the Rona.
Yay! I've had Paris out with 2 weeks.
I got a text message on Wednesday afternoon. From my co-worker. She's like, "Hey Max, totally dying. Got the COVID. Won't be in for a week. Sorry." And I'm like, "Cool." And I still haven't heard from my boss if I'm supposed to be doing her work yet.
So have you been doing her work?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, all week, just haven't done it. No one told me.
No, I've been doing it. So I'm a little bit busier at work than I usually am, which is fine. And then this weekend's been pretty chill. I took the wife, and the kid went out to the Aboriginal Cultural Centre.
Oh, Narana.
Narana out near our place. And Hadley had a blast feeding all the wallabies and the emus. So that was good fun. And then JB ruined my birthday.
JB, high five. Well, look, you've thrown the ball up. You can't leave that rant unattended. Max, give JB some heat.
About a month ago, I think, is when everyone started pimping out their reviews of the upcoming SteelSeries headset. And after reading all the reviews, I'm like, I got to get me one of those. So I went into my local JB store. I'm like, "Hey, I want one of these." And they're like, "Yep, cool. Just leave a deposit." I'm like, "Yep, cool, no worries." So I put down my deposit. And as of yesterday, they were supposed to release. And I go into my JB store. I'm like, "Hey, I'm here to pick up my headset." And they're like, "Yeah, so it turns out whoever took my order took my money, but didn't actually place an order for the stock to come in."
So where'd the money go? Also, hey, Jed, man.
They created an order I have an order number, but they never actually ordered the stock to come into the store. And she's like, let me see if I can get one from another store. I'll see if we've got any. They have negative 101 units in their warehouse. So they're so far up on back order that they're like, your best bet is to cancel your current pre-order because no one's actually ordered the stock for you. And just order it through our website online, but they won't get there until at least mid-September. But they're like, hey, we've got the wired version if you want wires up in your life.
I didn't pay for the wired version. I paid for the wireless version, JB Hi-Fi. Hey, look, I know you wanted the fancier one. Would you like the lesser one? Like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus
so that was fun.
Christ.
So that was fun. But the other debacle was I rang them at like 10 o'clock in the morning to be like, hey, are they actually in? And the guy's like, look, I can't see them at the moment, but we've got tons of boxes out the back that we haven't opened yet because we got a delivery this morning. They should totally be there. I'll give you a call back. I'm like, okay, no worries. About 4 hours later, I'm like, I haven't heard from this guy. I'm going to just give the store a call. Spoke to someone else, and they're like, yeah, they're not here, bro. No one ordered them. They fucked up. I'm like, okay, no worries. I came in, cancelled my pre-order, left. And then the original guy called me 20 minutes after I left the store going, I still haven't found them, man, but I'm about to clock off. I've been looking for these things all morning. I'm like, yeah, don't worry. I cancelled my order. Turns out whoever took my order originally just didn't order the stock. And he's like, well, that's a bitch. I'm like, yep.
Yep. I'd like to make a formal complaint. Thank you.
So they're ordered now, and I'll just have to play the waiting game, unfortunately.
Burns. Well, thankfully, your birthday is in September from memory.
No, it's on Tuesday.
Fuck! Then whose birthday's in September? No, well, that is a bummer. Then they totally did ruin your birthday. Yeah. Here I was trying to give JB Hi-Fi out.
I must admit, what's bizarre is, on their website, it says the release date's the 30th of July. On the receipt that I have, it says the release date is the 30th of September. If you go to other online stores, half of them say 30th of July, half of them say 30th of September. So when the fuck do they actually come out?
I don't know. I don't even think they really
Hopefully one will just show up at my house one day.
That'd be nice. That would be cool.
Well, yeah, because I've paid for them, so hopefully that happens.
Very nice.
What about you? How's your weekend been?
My week has been good. As I mentioned, Paris, my boss, my co-worker, he has been out with the COVID for 2 weeks now. So
I hear you only get 7 days. How's he out for 2 weeks?
So his wife then got it shortly after, which then extended his lockdown. So his son had it, putting him into ISO because of like strong close contact. Couple days later, he got it, extended everyone's ISO. Couple of days later, his wife got it, extending the ISO again. So, because he tested, PCR tested positive, so he's like, you have to stay home. Mm-hmm. So, sucks to be Paris. But he's back tomorrow, I think, maybe, I believe. But yeah, so myself and Vanessa, we've been running the ship for the last 2 weeks, and nothing is on fire. Everything looks to be going well, which is good. What did I do? On Thursday night, I had tacos with my son. I got invited around to their place to have a big taco feast, and that was awesome. Got to hang out with him for a while.
Bizarre to have Taco Tuesdays on a Thursday.
Well, it was going to be Tuesday, but I had other bookings, so I couldn't do the Tuesday night, sadly. But we pushed it to Thursday because Thursday starts with a T, and it's the closest we could get. So there was that. But last night, at time of recording, so Saturday night, Saturday, I was at another wrestling show, which I always do. It's like every week, every second week. It's like, I was at a wrestling show on the weekend. This week was at the third show for the Renegades of Wrestling. So I had a different role this week. So I was because I was filling in for someone else, and their role was Waterboy. No, I was a producer. So my entire job was to essentially oversee all the setup and pack up, make sure all the crowd was safe, everything, and the crowd crew, everyone was all set up safe, make sure everything was all up and running. I essentially oversaw a bunch of shit for the day, and it was fun. It was fun. Jerdman asked, when's my debut? I don't know. Not for a little while. I don't see Big Daddy Betson getting into a ring anytime soon, or Big Nasty Betson. I have decided what my music would be if I was ever to do it. I think Big Daddy Betson would probably have remember that song from Basketball? Played by why can't we be friends? Why can't that's what I think. Very similar to Homer in The Simpsons. But the idea is that when I turned heel and become Big Nasty Betson, I would bring in Turbo Negro's All My Friends Are Dead, because there is a lyric in there. All my friends are dead, they got kicked in the head, and now they're buried and they're dead. So it allows me to sort of like, all right, well, I get to bring a super kick in as one of my finishes, good DDTs in there, get to be a dick about it, like I don't have any friends anymore because they're all fucking dead. I turned on everyone, I kicked their faces in. That's probably my plan. But yeah, yesterday it was good fun. It was a late one, so I got home about 2:30, and then I was up at 8:30 approximately to watch SummerSlam, WWE SummerSlam, because I've had a complete wrestling weekend, which is great. So, Max, you've heard me 1,000 times before, absolute poop on the WWE, but things have happened in the last couple of weeks. Vince McMahon, previous chairman and CEO and head of creative, has retired due to, after essentially being jumped before he was pushed due to the strong sexual misconduct allegations that he has been facing of over $12 million in personal payments to women to stay quiet for his indiscretions. So he was like, I'm going to retire. They're like, yes, probably a good.
But does he now get that $12 million back? Because they've obviously spoken out.
No, because that money was allegedly paid out of WWE funds, not out of his own personal money. So the company's like, you owe us $12 million plus fines. Which is great. So
come on, be serious though. It's because you're a Logan Paul fan.
Yeah, dude.
That's why.
So yes, Triple H, Paul Levesque, the King of Kings, the Cerebral Assassin, is now head of creative. Stephanie McMahon is CEO and chairwoman. So there's a whole new era at WWE going right now. So we watched the show today, expecting some cool changes, some cool new things, and boy, did it actually deliver. It set up some cool new stories, closed up a couple of nice stories. A couple of wrestlers that have been away for a while have come back, and looks like there's new female factions, which I like. It was really cool. Yeah, Logan Paul had his first official match as a WWE superstar. He was at WrestleMania this year, and he had a match, and it was great. But the difference here is this is his first time as a confirmed competitor, and he did the most incredible frog splash from the corner post to the announce desk, and it was incredible. Like, this dude is going to be legit, and it's embarrassing to say that, but he will be legit. It's going to be awesome. Brock Lesnar brought a tractor to the ring, because when he's big farm boy Brock, he then proceeded to attack the ring with the tractor. Paul Heyman got F5s into the desk. That was funny. What else was good? Austin Theory got kicked in the face. It's a really good show. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Jeff Jarrett had a sleeveless umpire shirt, which really helps, because we were discussing how the storyline was at the previous match between the Street Profits and the Usos, because his shoulder was off the ground, so that even though the ref got the 3 count, it's not technically the win. Both shoulders weren't touching the mat, so they hired the only person that allegedly in all of any referee ever that can go, yep, that's 2 shoulders down. They get Jeff Jarrett. It was weird. But yeah. By the way, says Reverend Puck, Smash Mouth does the cover of Why Can't We Be Friends. I keep saying it's Real Big Fish when it is very clearly Smash Mouth. I don't think Real Big Fish have ever sung a version of that song, but there you go. Smash Mouth. But yeah, so that's what I did today. I watched some WWE, and I think, Max, I might be back in. Maybe Young and the Wrestlers will return. A little bit of WWE, a little bit of AE dubs, a little bit of the local independent scene. The Young and the Wrestlers could be making a mild return. And look, during that time, I have snuck in a little bit of gaming here and there. Now, one thing that I couldn't talk about last week, but I can talk about this week, Max, it is the Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town. I've been playing it for a couple of weeks. There is now a review over at player2.net.au. I recorded with Padge after about being three beers deep last week. I then took that tipsy energy and recorded a review of that wonderful game now on your PS4.
I'm sure he appreciated that.
Yeah, it was good energy. It was great. So like I've previously reviewed it here on the channel when it was on the Switch. Pardon me, but it's now on PS4 or PS5, so it runs better, it looks better, it plays better. Everything about the old Story of Seasons, but better because it's on the PlayStation. It is no longer limited by the shortcomings of the hardware capabilities of the Nintendo Switch. It's awesome. It's great. It's absolutely brilliant. One game that I've been watching this week, though, speaking of farming games, is Dinkum. So Jerdman, who's in the chat before, he is currently near on exclusively playing Dinkum, which is this Australian-themed farming game. It's only available on PC at the moment, but it looks awesome, and I cannot wait to play it. I'm just not very good at sitting in front of my desk to play games. So, yeah, I am super, super keen. Other than that, what else have I been playing? Played some more multiverses.
Does it have, you should check out, see if it has controller support. You could big screen it to your TV.
It does have controller support, I believe. Partial support, I think. I might have to try it. But, yeah, so I played a little bit of Multiverses. What else? I played some more Stray. So I'm getting further and further in that game. I think I'm probably just shy of halfway now. Like, I've only put like 2 and a bit hours into it, totally. So I really haven't done a lot of gaming this week. I've just sort of done a lot of work and YouTube and hanging out with people, which has been quite nice. Also, hi, NASCAR fan, how are you? Yeah, so what about you, Max? What have you been spending your time with this week?
So I dove back into Disgaea 6 a lot more. So, which is the Defiance of Destiny. I'm playing the complete edition thanks to the team over at Bandai Namco Australia, which is the PS5 release of this title. So as I mentioned last week, it's one of those tactical RPGs akin to the early Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, that sort of combat. I am now way deeper into it. So a lot of the first, for probably I would say the first close to an hour of my gameplay, I was in and out of tutorials the whole way. It kind of info dumps all of the systems of the game at you at once. And teach you how to play. So it starts with like the simple attacking commands, the special attacks, group attacks, how the combo systems work. And then it jumps into you can auto battle, and then there's this this component of the game called demonic intelligence, where you can set up how each of your individual,
band name, by the way,
which allows you to set up each of your individual party members how they're going to auto battle. So there's predefined ones already. So there's your all-out attack. There's the heal when needed. There's the blah, blah, blah. But you can fine-tune exactly how your characters will react when you auto-battle. So it could be attack closest enemy, attack furthest enemy, always move before attacking, only attack in groups. So only use AoE attacks. Only basic attack, don't consume mana to use your special attacks. Do this before that. If that, then this. If there's lootable chests on the battlefield, loot chests before aggroing enemies. It's really quite in depth. So it goes through that and explains how to do all that stuff. And then you get introduced to the Senate, where all the different factions of characters vote on the basic gameplay rules of the game. So if you're like, hey, I want more XP, you can vote on that, and if your faction wins the vote, you will gain more XP per battle, or more money, or higher drop chance for rare loot. You can vote to get a new character in your party. You can create new characters that way.
Democracy ain't that fun. Why is there so much democracy?
You can also, so obviously the big thing about this game is you're trying to to kill the god of destruction in the world. And every time you die, there's a mechanic called super reincarnation where you get reborn and become stronger. So the way they build that into the game is once you reach a certain level, if you feel like you're not getting any further, you can super reincarnate. You can just kill yourself.
Good call.
You super reincarnate and you spend those experience points to upgrade your abilities, your stat points, and you reset back to level 1. And then you go up again.
Okay.
And you rinse and repeat. So you're constantly getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm currently like level 800 and something because there doesn't seem to be a cap. Where I'm hitting for like hundreds of thousands of damage.
All right. And how? What level are the enemies? Are they equivalent? Like, or you're like level 800 and they're like level 6?
They're kind of equivalent. So there is a fair bit of grinding in this game, and they do kind of play on that early in the game. Early in the second act, there's a character in the human world whose ability is to revive heroes. So in one of the cutscenes, you make the joke of, "Oh, I can kill this guy over and over and over again because you're just going to revive him because he's a hero. I can just farm the XP." So it's very meta in some of its comedy, which is awesome. And then because it's a tactic-based combat system, there's also things in the world that you can interact with. So sometimes there's multi-tiers to the battlefield. So you'll have to pick up boxes and create your own staircases to get up to the next level. There's it's way more in depth than I originally had thought. So you can't kind of just auto battle your way through it. Sometimes you've got to turn no matter how good your setup is, I find myself often turning off the auto battle to do specific tasks, and then I can turn it back on and kind of grind that way. Okay. The story seems interesting. Again, you follow the story. You follow the character named Zed, and you're literally just trying to get as strong as possible so you can kill the god of destruction. So, at its core, that is the basic story for it, and the basic gameplay loop is you're essentially grinding to get stronger and stronger to eventually take on this super boss.
But you're digging it though?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Well, you don't just get to level 800 by accident, I suppose. So
yeah, that's
really
a very,
very good point.
I found it more fun setting up each individual party member with their auto battle system. Quite, it's a very in-depth
very
system.
there's a lot of menus.
There's so many menus, which is why there's so many tutorials at the start of the game. So you got to really kind of focus in on that.
Okay.
Which is cool.
Not too bad. Anything else you've been checking out?
The usual, the games that I go back to every week. I'm still chipping away at Diablo 2. I'm playing Fall Guys. Couple of runs.
You got an Undertaker skin, I saw.
Got the Undertaker skin because we got the all PlayStation players already owned the game thanks to PlayStation Plus, and when it went free to play and cross-platform, anyone who owned the game got the Season 1 Battle Pass for free, or the Season Pass for free. So I've accumulated some in-game currency and kind of just went, hey, I like the Taker. I'll buy the Undertaker skin.
Nice.
Then yeah, Rocket League. Apparently WWE's in Rocket League now. There's a Roman Reigns car and a fucking someone else car.
Look, they're really jumping into that gamer space because John Cena's in Fortnite this week.
Yeah, John Cena's in Fortnite. I didn't bother jumping on to get a skin that I can't see. It seems pointless.
It's the perfect stealth.
And then yeah, I picked up 2 Switch games today that I haven't managed to check out yet because my kid stole my Switch. I watched the opening cinematic of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and my kid's like, "Ooh, robots!" and then took the Switch and ran away. And I missed like the first 3 tutorials, so I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll have to start that again later.
Not too bad at all.
What about you?
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it for me. Yeah, it was just mostly Story of Seasons and Stray. As I said, Stray's still good, but yeah, other than that, I've had a very limited game week this week.
And I played more Outriders. Managed to get to Apocalypse tier from 11 to 16 now. Just grinding away, getting that gear.
Tidy, absolutely.
I got told about a really nice loot glitch in the new trials at the end. So if you don't pick up your loot and just go back to the lobby and go back in, it uses up one of your tries. You can fight the boss again and you automatically get double loot. So you kind of You get 2 pieces of each piece of loot that drops, which is nice. So you can farm that in-game.
Wait, and is this the big bad
materials.
that we did at the end?
No. So it's the next big bad. That's the part of the end game expeditions. It's good fun. We'll have to jump on and do it.
We might have to jump on and do it because I had a lot of fun. I just haven't gone back to it because it's one of those things where the back end of the DLC was so much fun as the two of us. I'm like, I don't really kind of want to do it again by myself.
Yeah, I was playing with some friends. They're on Apocalypse tier 37,
Jesus.
which is 3 below the max tier, and they're like, just hide and don't die. And I'm like, I've got this. It's fine. So it was alright. Didn't die.
It's true.
They did. I didn't.
Beautiful. Well, anyway, let's get into this section called Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Now, Max, you said this before we started recording. There's 2 bits of news this week. There's PlayStation news, and then there's quick bits. Yeah. And once we do a bit wrap up, so there's only the main brunt of the news this week is PlayStation specific.
There's so much PlayStation specific news. So let's kick things off.
Yeah, you kick off this first one, and then I'll jump in.
With what happens at the start of every month or the end of every month, we have got the new PlayStation Essentials titles.
These are all your freebies.
These are your freebies. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for PS4, PS5. Yakuza Like a Dragon, PS4, PS5. And Little Nightmares on PS4.
Man,
we also got to look at
before we jump into that, Tony Hawk's fucking it. Remember the last month we were like, your first month in a PS Plus, with the new tiers, disappointing. I don't know about you. This month fucking slaps. Like, I mean,
I own all of these games, but yeah, sure.
Like, I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 on disc, not the PS5 version because it cost me $10. I didn't pay it. So that's a big plus for me. And then my son has been playing it the most, and the disc drive in his PS4 is a little bit shitty. So now we can play it without the disc. Success. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I've heard nothing but amazing things about Yakuza Like a Dragon. So that's good. Little Nightmares. Both you and I have already ran through it just recently with the release of Little Nightmares 2 last year. And it is a absolutely brilliant game, especially when it costs you no dollars. But it is certainly a much stronger improvement compared to last month. And very similar to yourself, I do think there are many, many people that have all 3 of these games, and that may be a problem. But at least at the, we're one for one. We're
still 3 solid titles.
Yeah, we're 50-50 so far in terms of our batting average on the Essentials tier being good and or garbo. So it's a tough one. It's not games with gold just yet.
No. We also got to look at the extra/premium titles for August. The 3 that have been announced are Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2. We also announced that
Yakuza Kiwami being the remake of 1 and 2, and Kiwami 2 and 3, I believe, or something like that.
No, because later this year we will be receiving the rest of the Yakuza series. We will be getting Yakuza 6, Song of Life, and Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remastered. They will drop throughout the rest of the year. We're getting all the Yakuzas.
Well, in the same way that if you really like Assassin's Creed games, if you really like Yakuza games, you're covered.
I think the Yakuzas have been on Game Pass for a little while now, so now they're available everywhere.
Yeah, which is great. Like, Yakuza's always been a franchise that I've wanted to dive in. And I've just never done it because I'm lazy, and it seemed like a lot of effort. But if it's free, what about you? Does this get the max snips hard?
So, like I said, because I bought my Xbox through Telstra, I have Games Pass for however long I have it for like 4 years or something. So I've played a lot of the Yakuza titles on Games Pass already. Like a Dragon's great. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, fantastic. It's a good chance for those people who have it on PS4 but didn't want to spend the upgrade cost. They now just get it. Playing on PS4. Save file doesn't transfer. You lose everything. That was fun. Yep. That's why I've played through 1 and 2 like 3 times. Little Nightmares brilliant. So good. Solid titles, I think. You've probably got it right with most people will probably own a lot of those titles already. And yeah, like we said, it's cool to see the Yakuza series come across to PlayStation. for those people who have the extra premium deluxe tags.
Yeah. But next up, PSVR2.
I was going to say, just quickly before you jump across, hopefully there's more titles coming to extra and premium than just the 3 Yakuza titles. I would really like to see more classic titles.
Yes,
please.
where's the classic titles? God damn it! Seeing as we don't have access to your PS3s, we need some more classic PS1, PS2 games. That's what we need. Or just fucking get PS Now here in Australia already, you bastards. But look, it's very likely that PSVR2 will drop before PS Now does here in Australia, especially on the back of this week. Was a bunch more news. So as Sony have given us a little bit more information about this upcoming virtual tech for the PS5. First up is the see-through view mode. So triggered by a button on the headset or by bringing up the cord on PS5, you can swap your views from the game that you are seeing to the real world surrounding. So everyone's seen like the little nipply thingies on the front of the headset. That is in fact cameras that allow you to see the world around you without having to remove the headset, which is awesome. This will allow you to find your controllers. For example, if you like kick your dog or a small coffee table or a child, you can go meow, and then like
or someone comes into
child, get the fuck out of the way.
Someone comes into the room to talk to you. You can like look at them without looking at them.
Yeah, because like once you sort of get the especially if you wear glasses like myself, once you get the VR headset in that one locked spot, you don't want to move it because like it's just right, everything's tick boxes. If I can just go meow and like Professor X myself into the real world and be like, yes, hello person that I'm sharing the space with. Another exciting new feature is the ability to define your play space. Using the controllers and the PSVR2's embedded cameras, you can map out your unique play area, creating, quote, barriers at the limits. So, for example, once you set up your play space, getting too close to the edge will display a warning to prevent you from walking into things. Now, with the PSVR1, it was just like you need this much space, period. And then it also takes into account the viewing angle of the PlayStation camera, which was a bit poo. So this is, from my understanding, more in line with the Quest and the other PC sort of headsets. Great improvement, great thing, and it will allow those that do have smaller spaces, smaller rooms, to be able to play the games without too much of a hassle, I presume, which is nice. The blog also confirms that the return of the cinematic mode classic. Meaning you can not only play PSVR2 games designed for the device, but you can play or watch basically anything through so cinematic mode plays these on a non-VR things on a virtual big screen, which has a resolution of 1920 by 1080. And finally, by connecting the PS5's HD camera up while playing PSVR2, you'll be able to broadcast yourself playing. Now, that was one of the potential great features of the PSVR, was that you could just run things on essentially treat yourself, you have a giant projector screen in front of you, and you can play the games. However, the lower resolution of the PSVR 1 just made it look incredibly pixelated. The colors were a bit fucked, and it just wasn't as good unless you had the HDR pass-through, which even then I don't believe it worked on the headset per se. So with this increased resolution of the PSVR 2, this might be a more endearing feature. Max, what's your thoughts?
Looks great. They're doing all the right things. I mean, they're essentially giving us what all the other headsets already feature. So
Very true.
It would be weird if they didn't have all that stuff. It just makes me wish that they could have started with this. I hope a lot of people who picked up a PSVR and have only ever played PSVR aren't too spurned by the lackluster experience that it kind of provided.
Yeah.
So
it's one of the increased hardware capabilities, reduced cable, reduced reasons to like fuck around with it once it's on. It's nothing but improvement so far in the PSVR 2. Now that's saying, of course, without actually getting our hands on it. Who knows whenever we do? Like I know we got hands on with PSVR 1 at like PAX and EB Expo back in the day, but with no expected release date. Even though in the email I did receive from PlayStation, they did say they'd be back out and about soon with things including a release date. So it mightn't be too far away, which is pretty cool. But yeah, until we actually get our hands on it and try it, it's tough to really discuss some of these things. As I mentioned, like the space is fantastic for those that have smaller areas, hot. And it is one of those things, because if you try to play PSVR1 now, like you have to move, you might, depending on your space, you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to do it because I
have to move so much stuff.
Exactly.
I have to move so much stuff.
And it's just absolutely not worth it. But if you can go, well, I have about, 1.5 meters squared or 2 meters squared, I can work with this.
It almost takes me longer to set it up than I actually want to use the damn thing for.
And by the time I'm finished, I go, nah.
Let's talk about some indie bonding.
Okay.
So Sony's goal is to provide the best place to play, but there are always bumps in that road. Last year, the company was taken to task for its treatment of indie developers, with many citing poor promotion of its games and an obnoxious certification process as reasons why they would rather release elsewhere. The company has now announced a hardware loan program which will provide eligible game devs and publishers with a PlayStation 5 development kit and a PS5 testing kit, compliments of the company. Quote, "We are always striving to lower the barrier of entry to improve the process for publishing on PlayStation," says PlayStation Creators Chief Greg Rice. Quote, "We're pleased to announce a new initiative that will make it easier for new partners to hop in and get started with developing for PlayStation."
Couple of things here. One, now this is a great initiative. Like, so in some ways, it's a great initiative. So there was a good handful of years ago, there was a thing called PlayStation First. The idea was that PlayStation would, in very similar fashion, would essentially donate PlayStation dev kits to universities that had upcoming games programs. So if you were learning how to be a games developer, you had as part of your course, you had access to PlayStation dev kits, which allowed you to put your game out there for those that wanted to do it in Sort 3, which is awesome, especially for those that are giving it a red hot go. However, the digital marketplace that is the PSN has changed drastically in the 8 years, I think 8 years ago, where I remember reading about PlayStation First. More games are available on the digital storefront than ever before. So the conversation around the lower barrier of entry is absolute balls, because the barrier to entry is already very, very low. And then you're like, oh, well, okay, does that mean more shit games? So, because look, I was listening to another podcast, and they brought up a very good comparison. So, Max, if someone was to come to you and go, hey, we've brought in this system that lowers the barrier of entry for people to become doctors, does that sound like a positive thing to you?
I mean, that is a very bad analogy.
It is not, because it's one of those things.
It is no. Well, I mean, it is a very poor.
Nah.
Very, very poor analogy.
Look, here we go. Why is it the only? It's the only industry that goes, oh, it's so good that more people can get involved. Like, that's not that good. No.
It would be more likely to. The better analogy would be like, hey, we're lowering the standards of our. We're lowering the standards of food we will accept in our store to sell to people.
Exactly. Oh, we've lowered our barrier of entry.
We're gonna hire people who may kill people.
Yeah, we've lowered our barrier of entry for products in your supermarket. So what does that mean? More shit in every aisle. If you thought it was hard enough to find what you wanted before, it's even worse now. What does that mean for the quality of the food? Fucked if I know. We lowered the barrier of entry. Does that mean there are more products that may not pass? Sure. But, hey, there's no barrier of entry anymore. No. It's a tough space. I get it. Like, I think having the opportunity for independent studios to go out there and give it a go, and for the X amount of percentage of creators that will legitimately use it for the right reasons, is drastically outweighed by the amount of shovelware that we would get. Like I said, if you look over at Steam is trash. You know why? Because there is no barrier of entry when it comes to creating and selling games. The Switch is almost getting there. It is still pretty fucking bad. And PlayStation 1, once again, you look at the games that come out every week. Now, we're very lucky. Here in Australia, we don't get the full spring of lists of games that become available in, say, the US. Like, You know, an example, like the last 3 weeks, we've had a jumping game each week, and they are just $4 easy plat games. And they've been coming out regularly.
What I would like to know is what they determine an eligible game developer.
Well, yeah, that'd either be like, hey, we actually see you making X amount of money, and then like it's for free if your game sells X amount of units. I am not talking shit on trophies, Viva Dill. Viva Dill in the chat, who I believe would have just got their 300th platinum in the Artful Escape. Go check them out on Platinum Explosion. Dylan had a big discussion about the jumping games this week on their show and about how they're easy plats. No, so my issue is not the easy plats. My issue is just the frequency at which games like this are available. Now, I do believe in the theory of Platinum Explosion, where every trophy counts. But it's one of those things. If you can make these games super easy, and then you have those other, like, you know, sneakily hidden Christian games that become available that are just filling up the store with absolute nothing, it's not good. Discoverability is garbo at the best of times. And then you start lowering that barrier of entry and more shit just gets in. You know? People just says, me and Buddy are going to make a game. Decided it can't be that hard. Well, hey, guess what? No barrier of entry, man. It's all good. Get yourself a free dev kit. You can make the butthole. We've seen, what's that one that got memed on pretty hard? Curse of Black Tiger, whatever it was. You know, it's, well, a bunch of Christians can make a game. I'm sure, you know, people could, I suppose. I don't know. It's a mixed emotional space for me. And I go, all right, I appreciate that everyone gets an opportunity, but should everyone get an opportunity? Like, look, it's, some gatekeeping's okay, I'm sure. It's like, hey, we've lowered the barrier of entry to people that people can own their own tattoo shop. Would you like a really shit tattoo? It's art in the same way that games are art. Is it?
No, not at all. Sure.
All right, so it's not even.
I mean, there's a pretty low barrier of entry for tattooing. You can.
It's true. It is totally true. It is an incredibly low barrier of entry.
It's not like there's a tattoo company that be like, we will send you tattoo guns if we deem your development. Yeah, like
if we deem your store, if you're an eligible tattoo store, we'll send you a free tattoo kit. Actually, yeah, you're wrong. My analogies are very crude and not very good, but they made me chuckle, and that's what was the aim.
All right, well, talk about.
All right, let's get into the next bit of news. Is a tidy front area. Hashtag not sponsored by Manscaped anymore. Sony has announced a new firmware update is rolling out today at time of recording for PSVR beta testers that include support for 1440p resolution monitors, folders that have been named game lists because you can't just call them folders, and a variety of new social features. Available to download now for beta participants, Sony plans to offer the update to all PS5 users later this year. Quote, as always, some features available during the beta phase may not make it to the final version or may see significant changes. I'm fucked apparently, I can't read. In the game library, you'll now be able to make game lists of up to 100 PS5 or PS4 titles. You can create 15 game lists made up of titles that you have on disc.
Just quickly before you keep going, who the fuck has hard drive space for 100 PS5 titles?
No one.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm eagerly awaiting some money so I can buy a new fucking hard drive so I can fit 6 games and I can put them onto the same list. Yeah, so downloaded digitally and streamed. The same game can be part of multiple lists, and you can give them all personalized names. So you could be like fuckery, the butt, you know, and
butthole, not butthole.
Yeah, more like Phuket League and stuff like that.
Wait, how dare you?
You know, the bitcher, you know, stuff like that. It's not currently clear whether you can view these game lists straight from the PS5 homepage, however. On a compatible PC monitors and TVs, that aforementioned 1440p can now be selected as a resolution. You'll experience that output natively if the game supports it. Or, if you're playing a game with a higher native resolution like 4K, then you may benefit from improved anti-aliasing through super sampling down to 1440p. You'll find the option to activate 1440p in the screen and video settings. And these are the new PS5 social features that include the request to share screen, joinable game notifications, viewing new friends' profiles, send stickers and voice messages in game base, And they also include other PS5 features as comparing 3D audio and stereo audio. So for those like, there's no difference, well, now you can confirm it. And then finally, easier access to in-progress activities. That's right, nude friends. View nude friends profiles. Naked friends on PlayStation. Asterisks. Can't guarantee nudes, but I'm not ruling it out. I'm sure someone has sent their pangus across PlayStation messages. You know, you attach a camera to a console, someone's going to take a photo of their dick with it.
Someone's going to be playing PSVR nude.
Yeah, someone's pulling their dick.
Someone's playing Beat Saber
with their penis. Yeah, with two penises.
And lastly,
you haven't commented, man. What do you think about all this, Max?
Good. I hope that the game lists are available on the fucking main screen and we don't have to go to our game library to sort through everything. Again, I made the comment of who can actually store 100 games on their console to make a list of 100 games. I guess maybe if you got 100 of those platinum games.
Well, I think it's one of those things where
games I have platted from the $4 category and games I have not platted.
It's presumable that you can sort your game library, so not just games that are installed, but games that you own. In that, like, maybe. Well, so then you install it and it goes automatically into that folder, perhaps.
I guess
that's a great way to do it. I mentioned
1440p output's great. I don't know why it wasn't there to begin with. It seemed really silly to not have it there.
It's the one thing that PS5's been missing compared to the Xbox Series X is that lack of 1440p output. Now, I know that there are many people that kind of stress that 1440 at 60 is easier to obtain and almost looks better than 4K 60 or 4K 30, right? It's just one of those things. It's just like, well, as I said, it's super samples down better. You'll get a sharper picture, you'll get a sharper pixel density if you drop from 4K to 1440. That sounds great if you have those monitors, right? You can get a higher refresh rate. It's less demanding on the console. That's awesome. I play on a 4K TV because I haven't talked about it this week, so I don't need to worry about that too hard. Max, you play on 4K monitors, not something you need to worry about either.
I got 3 4K screens that I don't really concern myself with.
Yeah, so you're
not all with 120 FPS output. So
you're not too worried about that, which is fine. Social features
that are running the 1440p, so they'll be happy when this eventually drops.
Yeah, so social features don't really bother me because I don't really talk to anyone. Or
everyone likes a good nude friend profile.
Yeah, look, outside of sending pictures of penises to people on my PSN, I very rarely use the social features. So that doesn't even remotely interest me. But I am the exception to what is the PlayStation rule, I presume.
Probably. Lastly, in the Sony news, Sony finally grew a backbone, TM. The PSVR2 is never happening. Just stop. Because this is the best you're ever going to get. There is now an officially licensed Backbone 1, which will work with iPhone and the PlayStation Remote Play app to allow you to play PS4 or PS5 titles wherever you are. Some of you will be familiar with this product, but for those who aren't, it's basically a Nintendo Switch for your phone, as my wife put it. The product has been endorsed by PlayStation, so you get the console's iconic face buttons and a color scheme that closely matches the design ethos of the DualSense controller. Quote, "The elegant colors, materials, and finishes are all inspired by the design of the PS5 console's DualSense wireless controller, including transparent face buttons and a visually distinctive floating appearance," the press release points out. It also notes that the PS Remote Play app has been recently updated to even allow you to wake up your console wherever you are. In addition, Backbone has its own app which recommends content from a variety of different platforms, including Apple Arcade. This will dovetail with the PlayStation app, incorporating, quote, "a dedicated row with new releases and updates directly from Sony. You'll even be able to download and install games remotely from here, ready to play in the PlayStation Remote Play app." These are available to purchase now.
They're 175 Australian dollary dues.
Yeah.
Couple things. Off-centered sticks, that's pretty cool. But it clearly looks as if they just completely painted it. It's the exact same Backbone, but they've just made it. They just put PlayStation buttons on it and they painted it a different color, which is pretty cool. Now
it's white instead of black, and it's got the PlayStation
saying that though,
it's got PlayStation buttons on it, so you want one.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I never thought about wanting a backbone. I'm like, that looks fucking stupid. It comes with PlayStation symbols on it. You know what? Suddenly I'm interested. And that's exactly where I'm at. And because I've wanted to, like, I don't have a TV in my bedroom, right? I haven't as long as I've lived by myself. With the idea, I'm not a big fan of TV and stuff in bed. But my house is so fucking cold that I'm like, I kind of want to just lie in bed and play games. But I don't have a second TV, and my PS5 is in the other room. I have wanted to remote play a little bit, and I have been using one of those little dongaroos that kind of like hold the phone up on the console, but it's kind of shit because it holds it weird, and then because I have a fucking iPhone Max or whatever, it's all heavy and it sits weird, and it's a shit fucking contraption. Where this is actually quite a good contraption. Is it 190, 75, 190, whatever the fucking dollars worth? Not me personally. Because I don't have $1.75 to really spare and splash out on fucking shit to connect to my phone. So, hey, Backbone Australia, Backbone Worldwide, if there's a PlayStation podcast that you would like to have check it out, there is myself and Max here at For the Players. I'm sure Explosion Network, Platinum Explosion would be keen to give it a go as well. Hey, hit us up. There's only two of us in the country. Have a chat to us. Look, we will give you our thoughts and impressions on playing some PlayStation on your phone. We'll do it shamelessly. It'd be amazing. It's
Shamelessly.
So if anyone knows their PR email, pass it on. I'll shoot me an email. Go, hey, PlayStation. It's our specialty. Let's talk. But look, it's one of those things. I have had hey, what a pitch, solid pitch. I have dicked about with remote play in the past, and it's been pretty good. Like, depends on your internet, of course. I'm very lucky, same as you, Max. We both have HFC. We have cable internet, so our downloads and uploads are pretty tight. And when I previously had NBN, I also didn't really have any problems with any latency. It's good. It's good, man. I dig it.
I hate share play. Not share play, remote play. I hate it. I can't stand it. If I want to play a game, I'm gonna sit in my chair and I'm gonna play it on my on my monitor. I can't stand the way I can't do it. It's the same reason why I don't really like the Vita. It's the same reason why I play my Switch mostly docked. Because I don't like playing those kinds of games. Like, I wear glasses. Having a small screen size just fucking hurts my eyes. Even if I'm wearing my glasses, I can't sustain that gameplay for that long. I would just prefer to sit down and play it properly on my TV. And if I can't, I'll play Marvel Snap on my phone. I very rarely will remote play onto a smaller device. It just doesn't seem worthwhile to me. Now I get that I'm probably a small minority for this, and a lot of people do it, but for me it's just can't do it. Well, it's not for me.
As you said last week, you've been wanting to play some Marvel Snap. Looks like Dylan in the chat's all kind of hard for mobile.
Yeah, I would love them to add a fucking friends list so I can actually play against people. I'd also like that Ego wasn't a fucking location, just played the dumbest cards on my behalf. Piece of shit.
Yeah. Look, I'm down to give it a try. I have tried, as I said, multiple times.
I'm 43.
I'm good.
I dropped from 52 because I was just doing missions, and I didn't care if I lost.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm interested in the backbone.
Play it.
I'm keen to give it a go. All right, let's get into the quick bits, Max. Here, it's a couple of catch-up stuff from over the week. So, number one, the rumor of a Black Panther game being developed by EA is allegedly a single-player and an open-world game. Wakanda Forever, off the back of a Comic-Con. Would you play a Black Panther game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably play it too. Yeah.
Especially if it just played like Batman. If it just played like Arkham, but I was Black Panther.
That's what Spider-Man did.
I'd be super dope.
So are you comfortable with them just carbon copying the whole Arkham Spider-Man formula and just with different superheroes?
Yep.
Because
it fucking works for Spider-Man. Why can't it work for this? Hope they do the same thing with Wolverine too. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it.
All right, to your credit,
the game's good. It's still good.
Look, we don't change it too much.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Number 2, What Remains of Edith Finch PS5 upgrade is not eligible if you got the game through PS Plus. Who the fuck is pushing so hard to get What Remains of Edith Finch on a PS5?
So apparently, though, there is a little fucking through line for this. Apparently, this time it's not Sony's fault; it's the publisher's fault. Okay. Because Sony have apparently fixed their back end to give free upgrades to PlayStation Plus people.
Right.
Apparently,
they've lowered that barrier to entry to their back end.
Yeah, apparently this is a publisher issue, not a Sony issue.
Yeah. Well, Lord of the Rings Gollum has been delayed by a, quote, few months. The game looks like poo. It was
supposed to come out early September, and now they're just like, yeah, but it'll
come out at some point.
It'll come out at some point. Yeah. Also, I forgot to add this in. I'll just say it now. The Sony exclusive Knights of the Old Republic indefinitely delayed. Apparently, they showed it off, and Sony were like, no.
Wow. Fuck, what was that? Who's the studio that's doing it? Oh.
They're owned by Embracer, I'm pretty sure. It was Aspire?
Aspire, yeah. Wow. That's a bit poo. Yeah, if that's exactly how it went down. It's like, hi, here's Knights of the Old Republic. I'm like, oh, no. Well, that's a tough meeting to take. That's
it's like, it's one of those, yep, thank you. Next.
Thank you. Look, we've got some notes. No. Wulong Fallen Dynasty is set to receive a playable demo in the near future. And finally...
This is the Neo guys.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla's free Forgotten Saga DLC drops in the coming week.
Yeah, it drops on the 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, boy.
Upcoming titles, we have... just a massive list here. Frogun, PS4, PS5,
the Frogun is also cursed.
South of the Circle, PS4, PS5, August 3rd. Sword and Fairy, Together Forever, August 4th, PS4, PS5. And 2 Point Campus, PS4, PS5.
Yes! Give me some 2 Point Campus.
I know that's not actually next week, but I knew Ryan was keen. So you'll hear about this twice in the next 2 weeks.
You did, just to pop me. I loved 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus. Ooh, get that in me, man. Like I've got to get my Story of Seasons done in time, so then I can get my Stray done, so I can be Dean Betson and run my own 2 Point Campus. What a game that's going to be. Well, that's pretty much the end of the show.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything, guys. Do you wanna do your usual thing before I wrap it home?
Yeah, I suppose. Look, thanks for coming and stuff. No, thank you. So
what a fucking lackluster end there. It's like we're done.
That's it.
So, see ya.
Yeah. No, thank you for joining us. As I say, it is one of the greatest things you can do for someone is to share your time with them, and we thank you for sharing your time with us for this show. Whether it be for the first time, whether it be each week, whether it be here and there or occasionally, whatever, any minute, second that you spend listening to our show is much appreciated. But we ain't going to waste your fucking time, even though we kind of do, like every week. Max! Send him home.
Well, everyone, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. Come and check out our socials. Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are listening on the YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to sort of support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise store, PopCulturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit without logos on it. And do not forget that is coming. OnlyFans.com. Max, you can get in him. He allowed it at the start of the show. He's still with it. Small monthly fee. You can be inside Max.
What about small monthly fee? No monthly fee.
Oh. Okay. The free content is getting inside Max for free. I don't know what the paid content is.
Oh, there is no paid content.
I'm just putting my news out there in the wild, but you have to subscribe.
There's no paid content. See, the beauty of the free content is it's not a big deal if I don't do it. It's when they pay for shit that I have to, actually provide.
It's a very good point.
It's more free content, doesn't matter if it doesn't exist.
Hey, look. Lowers the barrier of entry.
It's a vaporware.
It's shovelware. Max's fucking nudes on the PSN soon. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players.
So I'm going to get a free PS5 dev kit.
Yeah, that part's pretty sweet. Get your dick out and you get a free PS5. That's pretty win.